Crazy diets of famous people throughout history. We are all very much aware that what we eat has a big impact on our health. We know that. And over the years, there have been so many different diets that people have tried to help them lose weight or gain weight in certain areas. But these celebrity diets are nothing compared to what some people throughout history have done to their bodies. Some of the things that people have done to their bodies are downright disgusting, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So let's get into it. Number 10, Genghis Khan. It is well known that milk plays an important part of many people's diet around the world. In fact, did you know that the country that consumes the most milk per person every single year is in fact Finland? They love their milk there, and they consume, on average, 24 kilograms of milk each person every single year. Well, back in the 13th century, Genghis Khan apparently also really enjoyed milk, and he loved it so much that he literally drank his way to death. While conquering Persia, Genghis Khan became obsessed with a fermented mare's milk drink called kumis. This drink is made by keeping mare's milk for several weeks until it turns sour. It is then strained, put into a leather sack, and drunk from that. He was already quite overweight when he started drinking this stuff, but he kept at it. After drinking large amounts of this sour milk every single day, he fell gravely ill and died just a couple of years later. Who would have thought that sour milk could kill you? Number 9, John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States, and he served from 1961 up until his untimely death in 1963. During his time in office, he faced many threats, including 63 assassination attempts. That's right, 63 assassination attempts. One of these attempts was famously foiled by a woman who was driving past the motorcade when Lee Harvey Oswald fired shots at the car that JFK was riding in. The woman, Jackie Kennedy, was sitting in the car behind the one that JFK was in, and she drove him straight to the hospital. Thank God for her quick thinking. But what a lot of people don't know is that President Kennedy was actually on a diet while he was being assassinated. At the time, he was trying to follow the American Diabetic Association's diet. He was told to avoid sugar, fat, and salt. And he followed this diet so closely that even his wife had to remind him to eat real food while he was being shot at. Can you imagine your husband getting shot at and you're like, "Hey man, maybe take a bite of this sandwich"? Awkward timing, but I guess that's what it takes to be a president. Number 8, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, led the country through the Civil War. He is one of the most beloved presidents we have ever had, and because he was such a tall man, weighing in at 6 feet, 4 inches, he needed lots of calories to keep his energy levels up. His personal cook once revealed that during Lincoln's presidency, he used to eat 3 full meals a day plus 2 snacks. He ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus an afternoon snack and a late-night snack. One of his favorite snacks was popcorn chicken, basically pieces of chicken that were deep-fried with popcorn. What do you think? Would you try it? I probably would not. And this guy supposedly ate it every single day. He also ate apples, dried fruit, nuts, berries, and lots of other junk food. So basically, his diet wasn't too bad. It's kind of similar to a lot of the popular diets that are going around today. Number 7, Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler needs no introduction. He was the leader of the Nazi Party, and he was responsible for some of the most horrible things that have ever happened in human history. But what a lot of people don't know is that Hitler was actually a vegetarian. As a young man, he decided that he didn't want to eat any meat anymore. But that's not all he gave up. He was also addicted to junk food, and it was said that if he went anywhere, he always brought his own food. If he knew that there was going to be a fancy feast waiting for him wherever he went, he simply refused to eat it. He wanted his own food. Sometimes he would bring little cakes, cookies, and other pastries with him, but he also brought books about vegetarianism with him everywhere he went. He was so adamant about his beliefs that he even banned the serving of meat to German Olympic teams in the 1930s. Hitler was so against eating animals that he banned hunting in Germany altogether and closed down all the zoos. But despite being a vegetarian, he sure did pack on the pounds. Number 6, Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great was the longest reigning female monarch in Russian history. She was the Empress of Russia from 1762 until 1796. And she was married to Peter III, who would often cheat on her. He would cheat on her with basically anyone, including men and women. To make matters worse, he openly flaunted his lovers in front of her face. So it's no wonder she eventually kicked him out and took the throne for herself. But before she took over the throne, Catherine the Great was actually quite overweight. Because of her size, she was often mocked and ridiculed by the Russian nobility. So she went on a strict diet and exercise regimen to get in shape. Her routine included daily exercise, which she hated, and eating only protein and vegetables. She cut out all carbs, which means that she never touched bread, cereal, milk, or any other dairy products. Did this diet work? You bet your bottom dollar it did. She lost a significant amount of weight and became much more active. No. 5, David Blaine. David Blaine is a magician and daredevil. He is known for making terrifyingly death-defying videos that leave audiences shocked and amazed. He's also friends with magician Penn and Teller, and he is currently one of the richest magicians in the world. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't struggled in his life. In fact, he attempted to take his own life twice. Now he says that he has overcome his demons, and he puts his success in life down to his strict diet. He eats clean, and he exercises 4 times a week. In an interview, he said, "I can't be unhealthy. I have to be healthy because I'm trying to prolong my life as long as possible. I'm doing stunts, and I have a family. I'd like to see them again. If I'm not careful, I can end up in the hospital, period. I've never been more afraid of anything than performing one of my stunts and having a health problem and not being able to recover from it and leaving my kids without a father." It sounds scary, but I think it's safe to say that if you're hanging off a building for your next magic trick, you should definitely watch what you eat. Number 4, William Howard Taft. William Howard Taft was the 27th President of the United States. He served from 1909 to 1913, and he was a big man. He weighed approximately 325 pounds. He was the heaviest president the United States has ever had, and he was so heavy that he got stuck in a White House bathtub. This was in 1909, and the bathtub was in the White House. Apparently, the tub was far too small for the president, and he ended up breaking the wood and getting completely stuck. A crowd of men had to be called in to pull him out. But this wasn't the only time he got stuck. In fact, he got stuck in a lot of places. He was so large that he couldn't fit in most chairs, and he even broke a chair in half at one point. A lot of people say that he got so big because he ate so much junk food, especially candy. But he himself denied this, saying that he only ate candy to prevent fainting spells. Honestly, that doesn't sound like it makes any sense. But hey, he was the president. Maybe he knew something we don't. No. 3, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is one of the best-selling music artists in the world. She has sold more than 30 million albums worldwide, and she has won 13 Grammy Awards. But Lady Gaga has been very open about her struggles with her body image in the past. When she was younger, she was extremely thin, but in 2011, she started to gain a bit of weight and she panicked. That's when she went on the maple syrup diet. This diet involved eating only meat and maple syrup. She avoided carbohydrates, fats, sugars, and salts. She said that she felt amazing on this diet. And even though it was very extreme, she managed to lose 25 pounds in just 2 months. But this diet definitely wasn't healthy and it isn't recommended, so please don't try it at home. Number 2, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando was one of the most legendary actors of all time. He appeared in over 50 films during his lifetime. He starred in classics such as On the Waterfront, Guys and Dolls, The Wild One, and Apocalypse Now. But Marlon Brando was also known for being a bit of an oddball. He was notoriously difficult to work with, and he was also very paranoid. He believed that there were people out to get him, and he constantly feared for his life. But what a lot of people don't know is that Brando went through a strange diet in order to prepare for one of his roles. In the film The Island of Dr. Moreau, He played the role of a scientist who experiments with turning animals into humans using surgery. And in order to prepare for the role, he decided to try and live as an animal as much as possible. He ate raw fish and bugs, and he slept on the floor. He did this for 10 weeks prior to shooting the film, and he said that he felt closer to nature because of it. Weird diet, but hey, that's Hollywood for you. Number 1, Bob Marley. Bob Marley was one of the most influential musicians of all time. He was the frontman of the band The Wailers, and he was famous for spreading messages of love and peace through his music. He is still considered to be one of the most important reggae musicians of all time. But what a lot of people do not know is that Bob Marley was actually on a pretty weird diet. He didn't eat red meat, eggs, or dairy products. Instead, he ate mostly fruits and vegetables. And he also abstained from smoking and drinking alcohol. So yeah, he was basically a vegetarian who didn't smoke or drink. In fact, he said that he didn't eat meat because he didn't want to put negative energy into his body. It's safe to say that this diet worked because Bob Marley looked super healthy and energetic in all of his shows. Thanks for watching. Bye.